I was talking shit to the gorilla. I knew I was so much better than this gorilla. So much faster. I was like, this thing's never going to catch me. He's going to get tired, and I'm just going to be faster the whole time. It's kind of like me and you playing tennis. Like, you'll never probably beat me.
Shut up.
But,
A mother warthog must defend her piglets against all odds. Her virtue is courage.
I have some weird ass dreams. Some reoccurring ones too that are kind of weird. Like, that scare me.
I have a couple that are
there's one that I've had like periodically over the years that like I feel like I'm at the point where if I have the same one again, I'm gonna die. Mainly because it started out the first time I had the dream, it was like with a whole family of people that weren't my family, but it was in my house that I live in now. And like the same events happen the same in every time I have the dream, but I'm a different person each time, and the person I was before is gone. And it always ends with me dying. So I'm scared now because there's only one person left that I haven't been. And I'm scared that if I have that dream again and I'm that person and I die in the dream, there's nobody else left.
And you just die.
So I just straight up die.
Do you know who that other person is?
I don't know who any of them are. I don't recognize their faces or anything. Okay. Like, it was weird. It was like, so there was nobody in my house. It was as if I was living in my house as an adult, kind of. Is like, I don't know, but I would never, because
I have stuff like that too. Is it exactly like your house, or is it?
It is
kind of like.
No, it's literally my house because I don't know. I just like know what I'm doing. I'm like aware that it's happening. It's like a lucid dream.
You kind of know you're in a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm in a dream because I know what it is, but at the same time, I can't control what I'm doing. Yeah. It's like I'm watching it it's like I'm watching a movie, but through the eyes of the person.
That's awesome.
So like I know, but I can tell who I am because the first time I was able to like just see you, it was like weird. It was like, it showed me a preview of what the family was. And then I like went into the body and then I was there. But now there's less people each time. Like, I don't know if I walk through what the dream is. It's super weird.
How do you die?
That's the like scary
It changes
part.
Every time?
No, it's the same thing every time. But I know it's going to happen, so it gets less scary, but it's still freaky. Because it's like not just like getting shot. It's like an entity. Oh yeah. It's weird.
It is weird.
I mean, usually what happens when I like start the dream, I guess, or from what I remember in the dream, I'm like just standing. I started as like it's like a dad, a mom, and then two like daughters, I guess. Okay. And I started as like I just went into like the mind of like one of the daughters, I guess. And I couldn't like move, but it would walk around and I would just be there. But it was like in my dining room or whatever, just like standing, talking or whatever. And it was like bright out. It was like a middle of the day. And then randomly it would look like storm clouds rolled over the house. So like it was like where it was daytime, but it got darker, you know what I mean? And then it was like it got darker, and then not that it like started raining or anything, but it just like went to nighttime. And then it was like pitch black, no power in the house. Okay. But like kinda. It was like ambient weird lighting. It was like fog.
You gotta be able to see kinda, because it's a dream.
And but then I just like get up because I like hear a noise, and I walk down the steps to my family room, you know, like that lower level. And then I open my basement door and I like look down into my basement, and it's just like nothing for a little bit. But then I see like this face come out behind the wall, and then it like starts to like move up at me, but it's like a long neck, and it's like the body is just like a dark cloud.
It's the same thing every time.
Yeah. It's like a shadow figure kind of, but I can somewhat make out a face.
That's cool.
And then I like freak out. So I'm like, oh God, this is scaring. And I like turn to walk up the stairs or run up the stairs. And then I just like feel it like not grab me, but like kind of just consume my whole body. Like it goes all around me. And then I just wake up. Doesn't like hurt, but it's like, what the hell?
Do you wake up like heart pounding?
Oh my God, freaking out? Like sweating, like just.
Oh, I hate those
because it freaks me out. I'm like, what is happening? And then every time I have that dream, the next time I'm the next person. So I was like the daughter, and then the mom, and then the dad's left.
So I have always had this memory of a dream that I had, like pretty much first dream I ever have. Like, do you have memories of dreams you had when you were like 3 or 4? Or at least you think you have memories of it.
Still, they seem like memories, but I know they're dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of those too, but that's not the story I'm going to tell. So I had a dream that I was up in my upstairs room and a giant bee started chasing me. And I ran down the stairs as fast as I could, got all the way to the hallway. Parents' room's at the end of the hallway. I'm really close to getting to my parents' room. I trip and fall, and the bee comes over top of me and is about to sting me. And I wake up, and it's like a giant bee. I never knew what this dream was from, what it was about, anything like that ever.
Is this the one that you had Mrs. Mansky like analyze for you?
No. Oh. I'll tell you that one in a minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, I never knew where it was from. And then I was randomly, like I was obviously obsessed with Pokemon when I was a kid. I was randomly watching like on TV an episode, like one of the first 2 or 3 seasons of the Pokemon TV show.
Yeah.
And there was a bee drill, which is obviously a giant bee.
Yeah. That's
about to sting this kid. And somebody like dives in and gets the kid out of the way. And I was like, that had to be where that came from. Because it was like almost the identical.
So you think you are getting stabbed in your dream by a bee drill?
And then I had a dream that was similar to something that I saw, and I never put it together until just recently.
Tell me about the one that Szymanski did for you.
She did a couple. The one that stands out because it was the most recent dream that I had. So like I told her one that I had the night before because it freaked me out, and then I told her one that I had way back. I'm pretty sure the one that happened the night before I texted her was there's a gorilla chasing me. It was around the school. So like I'll have dreams like the setting of my dream. Yeah. Like like even the one I just told you, like it was my house, but it wasn't quite my house. Like it's just a little off. Mm-hmm. So this was at Margaret High School, but kind of, not really. Obviously not like quite. It's like a school building. Yeah. That in my head at the time it was Margaretta for sure.
Was it
but
like Townsend?
Look anything like Margaretta. No. Oh. It's like I don't know. It just wasn't, but it was. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
You have like the feeling that it's a place, but it's not actually that place.
Like in my dream,
you know it isn't.
In my dream, when I was in the dream, this is one of the dreams like I did not know I was dreaming. I thought this was real. I thought I was at Margaret High School. I would have never questioned. And then I woke up and I was like, that didn't look anything like Margaret. Why did I think I was at Margaret? Yeah. But anyway, there's a gorilla also again chasing me. There's a theme here. And so there's like just normal grass, and then there's tall grass. I'm running away from this gorilla in the normal grass, and I'm way faster, way quicker, and I'm just like turning around talking shit. Like I know that I was talking shit to the gorilla. I knew I was so much better than this gorilla, so much faster. I was like, this thing's never gonna catch me. He's gonna get tired, and I'm just gonna be faster the whole time. It's kind of like me and you playing tennis. Like you'll never probably beat me.
Shut up.
But so anyway, then I get into the tall grass, and I slow way down. It's like I'm like in mud. But then the gorilla hits the tall grass, and the gorilla's like as fast as I was in the other grass. And so then I'm about to get out of the tall grass and get into the like lower normal grass again, and it caught me, and it was gonna kill me. And I woke up like literally heart pounding because I thought it was real.
What?
It was nuts.
This is the one that you told her.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
I mean,
you have like a full text.
She sent you
like paragraphs.
I can absolutely find it. You go ahead and tell. Do you have a story?
What in the world?
Actually, I probably have it right here.
My dreams are never involving like animals.
This was the second one I told her, so I don't even remember the first one. I'll go back and look at it quick. Okay. She says, you're at a school which symbolizes your insecurities. The gorilla means that you're too over the top in your behaviors. And that's because you're trying to compensate for being too rigid and stiff. I'm not sure what that has to do with the gorilla, but that's what she said. Oh, here we go. The gorilla can also symbolize repressed sexual energy, but without knowing what's going on in your walking life, I'm not sure which one. However, with what you told me in your dream, I'm going to guess it's the top symbolization.
She wants to know if you're fucking.
You're running away from the gorilla means that you're trying to avoid an issue and that you're not confronting your fears. The fact that you're faster at first means that you're able to avoid confronting your fears, but then they catch up to you. You have to face it. The grass gets longer and slows you down, meaning whatever the gorilla is symbolizing in your life you'll eventually have to deal with.
So it's basically just saying you have like a thing that you're not wanting to like face.
So it sounds like
but eventually you're going to have to.
Too over the top in my behaviors to compensate for being too rigid and stiff. I'm guessing that has to do with something thing that's going on in my life.
It's probably like just
like a sexual thing.
No. Yeah, if you just walk around with a rock hard boner all day.
Let me find this one because this was a weird dream. You go ahead. You have any more?
I mean, I have tons of weird dreams.
Oh, go ahead. We're into dreams now. I'm
like
interested.
I had one not that long ago where it was just like, it literally just started with me running from somebody with a shotgun. So I knew somebody was chasing after me with a shotgun. I forget who it was. It was somebody I knew. Like, I literally don't remember anymore. But, and I was with like, I think Alex, and maybe one other friend of mine.
Okay.
I don't know. Long story short, I literally was just running and we were on some bridge and then I like push Alex out of the way and I just get shot in the chest with a shotgun. That one sucked. It was weird. I just like woke up and like my chest actually hurt. But
that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's something weird about dreams that we don't know right now for sure.
I've like almost astral projected and stuff. I have before actually done that. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like where you like out of body experience. You like leave your body and you can like see yourself.
No, I've never had anything like that.
That was when I was doing that though.
Yeah.
That was different. I was like, but it was real. It was like real enough to where I was laying on the floor at Kimbo's house in his living room with like him and Jackson. And we were watching some music video and I was like, you know what would be cool if I could like go sit on the roof right now and look at the stars. So I like went to stand up and then I like looked around and I was like, oh, that's weird. They like didn't even acknowledge that I just stood up for no reason. Then I looked down and my like body was just like laying on the ground still watching the video and I was like, whoa.
That's crazy.
And then I looked up and I was like, okay, time to go up. And I just floated up through the ceiling and I laid on the roof for felt like an hour.
Wow.
And then when I was like, you know what, I'm done. I just floated back down through the roof and then laid back down on my body and I snapped back into it.
I want to have something like that happen to me so bad.
It was the most incredible thing and I've been chasing it ever since. I mean, I've gotten close literally just laying in my bed because there's like breathing and meditation things you can do for it, which usually doesn't work. Wim Hof
breathing, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's weird, but
I don't do Wim Hof to do that though. That's different.
You do a different breathing?
Yeah, it's more of just like I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of the same. It's just like more, you don't force inhale or exhale or anything. You just like breathe normally, but you try to stay as still as possible and like focus on like your breath being like very just like in and out and in and
like
out.
Always.
But you know what I mean? You focus on it being like a circular pattern is what I do in my head. And then.
Interesting.
But at the same time, you picture yourself like climbing up a ladder or like a rope.
This works.
Trust me, bro.
Where'd you hear this?
I don't know, reaching
I can't
how to
focus long enough to do something like that.
I do it when I'm like so bored that I'm just like, or not that, or like at night. If I want to like just fall asleep and I can't, is when I'll start doing that. And you get so tired just because, I don't know, you're doing enough to where your body is getting tired, but your mind is fine. Like, that's what you have to tell yourself too. Like a weird thing is you tell yourself like, my body is going to fall asleep, but I'm going to stay awake. And that's like what happens when you astral project. Is like your mind is awake and working, but your body just shuts down. So that's why when you go to move, you don't, but you leave your body.
I've actually, now that we're talking about this, I've had something that like is similar to that. I've never left my body, but I do this. It's an app called Brain Tap. It was recommended to me by somebody. You should try it. It's this thing that like has two voices, like a main voice talking to you and like a second voice that like it kind of bounces around between your ears. One of them's a little softer, one of them, and you're just you can listen to none, you can listen to one, you can listen to both. Like you just do whatever you want and just like there's nothing for you to do. And it puts me into this weird like I think a trance is probably the best word for it sometimes, where I'll be like as close to asleep as you could possibly be, but totally knowing that I'm awake and have like almost no control over like where my mind's going to go, what it's going to like, no control.
Does your body feel fuzzy when you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That means you're like very close to.
But I've never had I've never actually come out and looked down, but I know I'm like, yes, I'm this close to being asleep, but I'm awake and I have no control over
that like electric feeling in your body where you're like fuzzy is like, it's kind of like with Wim Hof too. That's what I meant when it's like similar because you feel the same thing, but
it's not like that though. Wim Hof, I literally feel different. Tingly. Yeah. That's like
you just like
that's like your blood like feels like it's getting more oxygenated. Like that's actually a physical feeling. This is more like I don't know. It's
the best way for me to describe how it makes me feel is like, you know that feeling like when you close your eyes like really tight and you see the like weird colors and stuff. That's like if I could picture that as a feeling and then all over my body, that's what it is.
Interesting.
Because I started to like straight up hallucinate a little bit.
Really?
Not necessarily, but like my eyes were shut, right? And I'm laying in my bed, and like that started to happen, but like so bright and like vibrant. Like it was just like, it was like I was tripping, and I was like, oh my God, dude. But what I hate is that like most of the time when I get to that point where I'm starting to like feel just everything, and I'm like, I know I'm close, I think about it, and then
you're out.
It knocks me off, and I'm like, how are you supposed to just?
And that's how I always wake up from that like trance thing I'm telling you. Is I start to like, oh wow, I'm in this weird like place again, and then it's like, oh, I slowly like I don't just snap out of it. It's like a gradual like, all right, here I come.
Well, they say you're supposed to just do it so much to the point where it's not that interesting anymore. And then
you just kind of go
subconsciously, it just happens, and you're like, "Oh my God,
this stuff's crazy to me." Though, like, like any altered state. How do I say this without any altered state? That's how I want to leave it. Is really interesting to me right now. I'd like to try a lot of them.
I've been try a lot of them.
No, breathing exercise, like we're talking about right now.
Yes.
Whatever. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
No, that's like, I don't know. As soon as I started looking into it and actually doing like research about like what it is and how different people do it, like there's some weird like monk meditations and yoga helps a lot.
And you can definitely get like weird, not like life lessons, but like weird realizations from that stuff. Yes. I know I have. Even from dreams, I've had some weird realizations.
Have you ever watched...
Oh, I can't tell that.
Down to Earth with like Zac Efron? It's on Netflix.
No. Sounds hot though.
No. It's weird. It's. I know it's him, but it's not like High School Musical stupid, like dancing and singing and...
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's not what it is. It's completely different. It's like him and this guy who wrote a book. His name's like Darren something. He wrote a book. You probably heard of him because he's all superfoods and...
What's his name?
Darren something. He like literally wrote the book because he wrote it, but it's like...
It's not a big deal.
I just want to look it up. Darren. All I know. Oh, Darren Olian or whatever. Super Life is what he did.
Okay.
Anyway, him and this guy who are like buddies because Zac Efron, obviously, when he was trying to get super like fit and everything, was like looking into all that stuff. But this dude named Darren and him travel like the world. And it's like a documentary series kind of. Each episode, they're in a different part of the world and they're like learning about things like, I don't know if it's the first episode that they go to. I think the first episode they go to Iceland and you like learn about how Iceland is like staying super clean with their energy and stuff and all the things that they do. And then like the next episode, they went to like Italy and learned like about water. But like you learn all these crazy things about how like, super purified water is like terrible for your body, and
like mineral spring water
and like
which is why I drink spring water and people make fun of me.
Also how dude, I love spring water.
Do you really?
I love it.
I thought we argued about this like a week ago.
No, I was saying spring water is good. It wasn't me.
Okay,
because I would have agreed right away.
All right,
but I don't know. And then one of them was they went to like one of these weird like it's like where the most miracles in the world happen.
Okay.
But it's like super like spiritual and stuff. It's kind of crazy, but
I'm so into that stuff.
It's cool.
I don't know how much of it like I think it's real, but anything weird and spiritual.
It's like this weird.
Give me a shaman in this room right now,
dude. They do that. They go to
That's episode 2.
They go to like the rainforest somewhere, and they straight up do like ayahuasca treatment.
Wow.
Which ayahuasca is like. What'd you just do?
No.
Breaking stuff. I don't know. What was that, like your mic stand?
It was my phone. That sounded terrible.
That sounded like it just shattered. Anyway.
Not at all.
No, I think you should watch it. It's like...
I'll watch it. What's it on Netflix, you said?
Yeah. If anything, like if you're doing something else, you could just put it on the background. Yeah. But it's so like captivating because you just learn about... It's literally all about... and you kind of watch how like Zach and this Darren dude, like over the course of the year that they spent just going all over the world, they're just like... Zach was like, I am willing to like just throw my money away and just go like live with the planet because like or give all his money to like helping
so it's
the
like
planet.
Sort of like a like connection with nature type of theme. That's like the theme.
They did this thing where like every time they went to a new place on the planet they would like take their shoes off and just stand on the ground, so you're like grounded with the earth in that spot. It was really weird, but it like
Have you ever had a weird like nature? Have you ever had any weird nature experiences? Not like you're
creepy?
No, like
I've done randonauting before, and that's
like
scared
I've
me.
been in like even I'm trying to think of like where like even the quarry, and like I'll just be like looking at everything, and I get this weird like rush of like like there's something going on there that like we don't know. There's some weird connection between humans and nature that is like.
This is like
Crazy. It's the only place that happens to me. And there's a few places in Castalia where it's like more nature oriented, where like just crazy. I can't even describe the feeling. It's like I don't want to sound like weird about it. It's not like not like I just start crying, but like it's a weird like
just
joy thing.
No, I totally know what you mean. This is like it goes along with what you just said, but it's also kind of like a conspiracy.
Go ahead.
I just sound so dumb because it's like straight up Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. But like, have you ever heard of like the Hollow Earth conspiracy or theory?
No.
Not theory, but it's basically there's like all these weird, all the way back to like the first people. There was like writings of beings and tunnels that led to the middle of the planet or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was backed by like the fact that over thousands of years, all these different civilizations that have never had like contact with each other were writing about the same thing because they were all in contact with the same beings or whatever. Regardless, there's it basically was saying that like most cave systems in the world will eventually, if they go deep enough, if they're long, like big enough caves, they like lead to the middle of the planet.
Interesting.
Where there's like all these different things, but
there's going to be a lot of people lying about what's actually in there. That's my only thing about that.
Well, I
feel like we know that there's like lava and all that stuff under there.
What's
somewhere.
weird,
magma, whatever the word is.
What's weird is that I don't know. It only makes sense because I feel like I'm a flat earther if I like really say that I agree with this. I don't agree with that, by the way. But it's like magma. We've never dug a hole far enough to see it. I mean, no, we haven't. Like we've never dug all the way through the crust.
You're right.
And
so maybe.
But I mean, volcanoes exist, so it's like, where does that come from? Yeah. But also, you could have pockets of like that cut through the crust or whatever and go up. But all I'm saying is that, like they say, they can tell because of the seismic waves or whatever. When earthquakes happen, they can tell, or when they shoot waves in, how that like reacts is like it's got to be moving liquid rock. But
the conspiracy just like sure maybe I don't want to like this is how it is with every conspiracy for me. I'm never gonna like write it off, but it's like that's probably not true. That's how I feel about all of them.
What's just weird is that like all these ancient civilizations knew about it, quote unquote, whatever, like you know what I mean. But it could. They were also saying that like the waves, like the radio waves, work the same way in water, and so like if there was like an ocean,
interesting,
in there,
interesting.
It'd be the same thing.
I hate this.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say. I hate this conspiracy. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's a little stupid. It's not like it maybe, but it's stupid.
That's why
you believe this one?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm just saying like.
You're just throwing it out there.
Who knows?
All right.
Could be, and we would have no idea because.
Yeah.
Whatever, but.
I found my other.
That was so
I
not
found the
connected
main
to what you said.
dream. No, you're fine. I found the main dream that I sent to Mrs. Szymanski.
Yeah.
So I was in another random school. So again, I thought it was Margaretta, but it didn't look anything like Margaretta. Some random hallways.
Right.
See, here's the thing though. There's specific names that I want to tell you. So we'll say person number one. Person number one. Got mad at me and pulled out a taser and then just tased me in the middle of the school. So I ran away while I was getting tased and was in a ton of pain. So I fell down.
Pussy.
I fell down in the middle of the school hallway.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Szymanski was one of the people. This is why I texted her.
Okay.
And we'll say person number two. So those two came over to me. And
God,
tried to give me. They were trying to give me morphine, like almost forcing me.
Like it was war? Why would you need morphine for a taser?
I don't know. We were in a school, and they were trying to give me morphine, and it was weird. They're both wearing these weird nurse outfits.
Oh, hot.
and I was like still in a ton of pain, but like fighting them off, and they're like trying to hold me down and like give me this morphine.
Yeah.
And then finally, person number 3 came over and like tackled them off of me. And then I woke up. But the funny part is you could have asked me like the night before, like the people that I graduated with.
Right. And
I would have never remembered person number 1 or person number 2, like ever.
No.
And they just pop out in dreams. That's the craziest stuff to me.
Well, they do say that like any face or anything in your dream
You've seen before
because your brain can't just randomly generate faces.
Maybe, but my brain can randomly generate other things, right?
No,
I can imagine.
you can't though.
I can definitely imagine.
You can just picture a face that you've never seen
Not
before.
necessarily a face, but I can imagine all kinds of things.
But see, that's what I mean though. It's like
I've seen that
in a dream. Any person you've ever seen in your
person.
dream
So
is
specifically
somebody that has been in your life at some point.
I don't know. That might be full of shit.
Or this is something that I thought of. It's maybe like, what if your brain just is doing like a mix and match of like different facial things, like the eyes of
Interesting.
somebody else, and then
That's
like
possible.
because like I feel like there's so many times where I just like have a dream and I'm like, I have no idea who that person is, or when I wake up I have no idea, but clearly it has to be.
Huh. The coolest thing to me. Sorry, I was gonna read you the things that she responded. She gave a way longer response
No,
to
yeah,
this one.
I want to hear it.
But first I want to say it's crazy to me how. So like same thing in real life. If you ask me like how somebody talks, like if you said like be Bryce Graffine and like say a few sentences that would sound like Bryce Graffine, I could never do it in a million years.
Impersonate me.
But then in my dream, it's like it's just perfect. It's
exactly
you know
what I
It's
would sound
exactly
like.
how they would.
But
be.
it is, yeah, it's coming from your brain.
That's crazy.
That's weird.
Anyway, so she sent me. She said, "You're in a school which represents your insecurities. I'm not sure what you have to be insecure about." So she was just trying to milk out of me what was going on in my life.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm
Like
not sure
I
what
said.
you have to be insecure about. So think about what's going on in your life. She said, you get shot with a taser, which symbolizes that you're in need of a jolt of energy in your life or need to be knocked out of your senses in your life. Like maybe you're not making a decision that needs to be made. After you fall, you're in pain. This symbolizes that you're being too hard on yourself and you need to give yourself a break. Whatever.
I don't
the
know
fact
enough
that you're
about your
refusing,
daily life either.
The fact that you're refusing the morphine means that you don't want to be disconnected from reality. You have a need to be grounded in order to make good decisions. I'm in your dream, she's Mrs. Samansky, because I was your teacher, and teachers symbolize that you were seeking some advice or guidance. Person number 3 ultimately comes to your rescue. The fact that he was your coach symbolizes that your subconscious is trying to tell you to be more self-disciplined. Thoughts on any of that?
I just love how...
Did I agree with any of it?
What? Do you agree?
Did I agree with any of it? Yes.
Which parts?
But not all of it.
Which parts?
Not all of it. Let me see here. It's all... The problem is, you could probably tell this to anybody, and it would feel true. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
so broad.
It's pretty broad, so like I could...
Because once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of am.
I was like, yeah, self-discipline, you're right. I'm sucking at that right now. And I was especially bad at that at the time.
How long ago was it that you had the dream?
I had this dream, I'll tell you, Friday, June 4th.
Oh, that wasn't that far long ago.
That's been a while.
I guess a month.
The whole jolt of energy thing, like, yeah, I was in a little bit of a lull. I'm doing a little better now. But what was the last part? There's one part, I don't know. This isn't great content. But when I first read it, like that day, I was like, this makes so much sense. Now you read it back and it's like, yeah, maybe not, but it was interesting. Got any other good dreams?
I don't know.
Dreams?
I wish I want to know what like websites she uses to find that.
I don't know, but I know she's done
too?
this.
She's got like a book, doesn't she?
She wrote a book?
No, she just owns
Uses
a
a
book
book
that she uses to do that.
Sure, she owns a book. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 2.
I don't know. You're right though. Some of that stuff just seems like bull.
Some of it's broad, but then at the time it was like, when I read it, I was like, some of this is true. Like the first time I read that, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy.
It's so
How'd she
true.
know? And then she texted me. Like 5 minutes later, I said, wow. I said, shit, you might be onto something. She said, what's going on? I said, top secret, but spot on.
Love how she tried. She's like, maybe he'll tell me. And you're just like, need to know.
What's the worst dream you've ever had?
Oh, I don't know. Oh,
I mean, I can go first. There's a number 1 and it's not even close after that. But go ahead.
I mean, I had a dream about like I was in a school shooting. I wasn't shooting the school up.
Okay, we're on the same page.
I was part of that group of people that.
You were one of the killers?
No. Part of the students. I was in the student body.
You made it seem like you were part.
I guess I didn't say that right. 100% was not a shooter.
Is there any interesting details?
I just remember that I was
know that was the worst.
In the cafeteria. It was like, I think my dream, because I was like, at the time I was definitely like looking into like the Columbine thing and like just how that went down.
That definitely happens sometimes where like you watch something and then
and then whatever. So it, like the events that happened in my dream were like kind of chronological with what happened in that.
Okay. So it was I think you replayed Columbine in your head, kind of.
Yeah, but I was like getting killed.
All right.
That I don't even know if that was a dream. I feel like
what?
I don't know. I feel like no.
What?
You know where you just like space out sometimes and you just like think about stuff?
Yeah, but I would never confuse that with a dream.
I do it so often that I have no idea. Oh my God. Like so much. Especially while I'm like working, which kind of sucks because like, you know, I used to do it all the time as like a lifeguard. I'd just be standing there just like looking at the water and I'm like, my God, it'd be so crazy. Like, and I'm just like play this whole scenario in my head. And then I snap back in and I'm like, oh, I probably should pay attention. But your dream.
So I also had a school shooter dream.
Nice.
So I got out of my car. This is also Margaret High School, but not quite Margaret High School. It's kind of like that gorilla place.
Yeah.
Very similar. Like lots of grass, trees all over the place. In like huge campus. Like the school wasn't huge, but like there's lots of grounds around it. Lots of good places to hide if you were going to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And so I immediately got out of the car, heard gunfire. Instead of like running away, I see everybody else running away, running back to the cars and like away from the noise, like the sound of the gunshot. Yeah. And I, for whatever reason, ran toward it. And there's like 4 other people hiding behind a bush. So I got like really up close and then I dive behind this bush with them and I'm peeking over and I see the shooter like laying down like how you'd be laying like in like hunter like camouflage, like laying down hidden, kind of like what's the position where you're like laying down and prone. There it is. Go. There's the word. Thank you. That was great. That was really good by you.
I'm just educated.
So this person's laying in prone and I run up, tackle him from behind because I'm the hero in my own dreams.
Good.
Tackle him from behind. We're fighting, like rolling around. I'm like trying to get this guy down. I'm trying to yell for the other people to come over and help me. Nobody's helping me. This person rolls over and it's my dad. And then I woke up.
Whoa. Did you tell him? Have you told him that?
I think I've told him. I've told that story a lot of times, but
that's like, I'd be really freaked out when I woke up. I'd like go interrogate my dad.
That's the scariest dream I've ever had. I woke up like...
Was he the sole like shooter?
Yeah,
like
only one. It was just him. I had another dream, so I don't know if this redeems him. I had another dream probably 3 weeks later, same situation, except my dad helped me take down the school shooter. So does that do those cancel out?
Maybe he just felt bad for the first time he shot up the school and then decided that this time he'd help you take out the other guys.
Yeah, that was the worst dream I've ever had. And it was like one of those like where it's real. It feels real.
Dude, what? You should have her analyze that one.
I thought about it, but I didn't want to send her a third one.
Yeah.
Those 2 were pretty recent. I didn't want to send her one from... This was probably when I was like a junior in high school.
Oh. That's stuck.
I'll never forget that one though. That was nuts.
I've never had a dream like that. Well, I probably have. I just don't know.
It was bad.
I don't remember.
Maybe I hated him that day. I don't know.
Do you like have dreams every night? Or is it like some nights you don't?
I used to dream like just every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Then I did not dream from like the summer after our senior year until probably 3 months ago. And now I've been dreaming again.
That probably makes sense because that's like when you were at school. You probably just didn't feel as comfortable at school.
Probably. And I've had a lot
with your slob
I had a lot of sleep disturbances. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Had a lot of sleep disturbances.
I don't know. That's how like Alex is. She like never has dreams. So I'll wake up in the morning and send her like what I just dreamed about. It was like crazy weird stuff. And I'm like, what about you? And she's like, nope, nothing.
People say nobody cares about... So this could be terrible content too. They say nobody cares about hearing about other people's dreams, but I can't relate to that at all.
Really?
Like, I don't
I
know. I love hearing about dreams.
I feel like you can like, I don't know. I guess if you take in what she says, you can learn a lot about what somebody's like, who they are, maybe, or where they're at. Mentally.
Maybe. I'm sure at the time of that dream, I was mad about something about Chris.
I do that sometimes. I'll look them up. I'll look up what they are, and there's like websites that'll tell you, but none of them that are like really accurate. Because one thing will say something, and the other one's like, you have cancer and you're gonna die in a week, and I'm like, okay.
Well, do you have anything else? Or you want to wrap it up? I feel like we talked a long time about one thing. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Kind of happened on accident, but all right.
First episode.
Yep.
Sick. Peace out.
I am the famous warthog. I work hard in the woods and slog. I grunt, squeal, snot and growl, out clear and aloud. Africa is my home. That is where I always roam. I sleep on grass, I sleep in caves.